Hey, it's hashtag genuine, and I'm just going to try to talk a little bit about who I am and my style of life, I guess. I feel like I kind of take the middle ground, and I'm not a totally crunchy mom that believes in all natural everything, but I'm also not on the other end of the spectrum of buying everything processed food and all that. I'm kind of in the middle, and a lot of that has to do with trying to be frugal and cut down on costs, and so processed things are more expensive, and so maybe that's why I find myself in the middle ground there. I feel like I'm in middle ground kind of on everything in life, and I don't think that spanking your kids is a good thing to do. However, because I grew up being spanked, I sometimes have resorted to that in the past, and really working on getting rid of that. I didn't do it at all when I had my first two, and then it was probably around the time that my third was born. I feel like a lot of I don't know if my personality changed or my temper shortened when my third was born. So I feel like, he's 2 now. And so I'm working on that more, to really get back to enjoying motherhood and loving it, and because I really do. We also believe in being debt free, and we have a credit card and we use it, but we pay it off every month. And we do have a mortgage, and we actually have some rental properties too that are going to have a mortgage. So to that end, we have debt, but not consumer debt beyond what we can pay back every month. And let's see, what else am I middle ground on? A little more background about us. We are Mormon, or of the LDS LDS faith. We go to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. My husband served a mission for the church in Kingston, Jamaica. That's why one of our kids is named Kingston. Worked out nicely that it starts with a K too. We decided to name all of our kids with Ks. When Kenny and Kira, got married, it was one of those things, okay, do we do the K thing or do we not? We kind of felt like we needed to decide. And I decided to do the Ks, because then I only had, a few thousand names to choose from instead of a few million names to choose from. Kind of cut it down, and we actually haven't felt limited. At first I thought there weren't going to be very many K names, and I had kind of a handful, but now I've probably got at least 15 different names that we've liked over the years and didn't pick for any of our 4 kids yet, and so we're looking forward to expanding and using some of those names, not all of them, but some of them. So we don't use birth control. We watched the Duggars and kind of just had the idea from them. It wasn't because of the same reasons that they list, and it wasn't just because they're stars or we aspire to be like them or anything. It was just I was watching the show and hadn't even thought of that. When we first got married, I've got 2 sisters that are a year and 19 days apart, and so my mom was kind of talking to me about being on birth control so that we don't have that kind of situation where kids really close together, and that kind of scared me at first. And so I was with the first part of our marriage and before our first was born, and even for a year after she was born. And then that's when I saw the Duggars show, and kind of prayed about that and decided, it was going to be a way for us to say, Lord, you can put our family in your hands. We're going to trust that how many kids and the spacing and what's going to be best for us, and we're going to be willing to do whatever. And at that point as well, we also decided we wanted a large family. Growing up, I only wanted 3 kids. I grew up the oldest of 5, and I kind of felt cheated, maybe. I don't know. I just felt like I didn't have I don't know. I was a teenager, self-centered. So maybe feeling like, oh, I only want 3 so that I can give them everything that they want. As an adult, you realize that's not the best thing. And my husband wanted 7, but he was like, no, we're fine with whatever. If you only want 3, we'll have 3. But after a couple years, it came around to, I want a large family. I really do. So, so that, birth control kind of fit in with that as well. And so I got off about a year after our oldest was born and haven't been on since. And all of our kids are spaced roughly 2 years apart. I'm not going to go into the details about why they're not closer like other families that are on birth control, but that's just kind of us. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at with that as well. We don't make our own clothes. I think that'd be cool, and I could have things that were tailored to me, but I am not detail-oriented enough to sit and sew things. I've tried, and they don't turn out so great. So I don't follow directions very well. So we also try to be pretty handy and kind of do our own things, which ends up getting us into trouble. I've got a video about that we will tack on to here. My husband's car is kind of torn apart right now, the inside. We took the doors off and trying to figure out what's wrong with the windows, why they won't roll down. So for probably about a month, he hasn't had the interior doors on his car. He's just, the door's there, but the inside panel is taken off and just kind of sitting there on the passenger doors. We've got projects that are started but not finished, which kind of drives me crazy. I like to finish things. I like to get things all done in one fell swoop. But that's the problem with these projects. They're too big, and we've got 4 kids that we have to take care of at the same time, that these projects just don't happen in one fell swoop. And so we go really hard, or as hard as we can on a Saturday, and then the next Saturday we don't want to do the same thing again. And so these projects kind of sit unfinished. I mentioned that we're doing some rental properties, and I want to do a video about that and how we're doing that, as I feel like we're just starting this journey, but we've had one of them for quite a few years. So I'll talk about that in another video. So look for that coming up. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe our videos to anyone else that just is looking for a way to be genuine in their life. I'm showing my genuine side. You show your genuine side in your own life. Don't be afraid to be who you are, warts and all. And that's us at #genuine. So I just realized, as I'm recording this video on being a middle grounder, that maybe I'm a middle grounder because I'm striving for one thing, but I'm not there yet. I'm not perfect yet, so I'm kind of feeling like I'm still in the middle between where I was or where I don't want to be and where I do want to be, but I'm stuck in the middle as I'm working on there. But that's the great thing about life. That's the great thing about being genuine. We're not perfect. We're striving for something to be better all the time, and that's what's important, progress. My husband calls it consistency. As long as we're consistently moving forward, then it's all good. Sorry, there's a fly buzzing around my head. So if you find yourself in the middle ground of where you were or where you don't want to be and where you do want to be, that's okay too. Keep consistently progressing forward.